Hi there, my name is Miss Kelly. I am a virtual content specialist for social studies grades 3 through 5. And today, fourth graders, we are going to be thinking about how we can prepare for grade 5. You have been hard at work all year becoming a historian and growing that social studies brain. So let's think about how you can continue this work next year, and I'll give you some tips and strategies that you can do over the summer to get you ready ahead of time. So, first, we're going to preview what you will learn in social studies next year. Then, we will talk about some things you can do over the summer to grow your historian brain. All right, let's get started. In fifth grade, you will learn Unit 1, Geography and Early Societies of the Western Hemisphere. And you will be asking the question, to what degree does geography determine culture? In this unit, you will learn about so many exciting things like the Ice Age, the first peoples in the Western Hemisphere, and how the geography or the way the land is made up around them affected their culture. Next, we will dive into Unit 2, European Exploration. This is a great unit. You will be asking the question, how do issues of power, wealth, and morality influence exploration and colonization? In other words, how do people wanting power, people wanting wealth, and also people being good or bad people influence the way that they explore or take over other lands and other people? Next, you will be completing a comparative case study of Western Hemisphere cultures. And in these units, you will be asking, how do key forces and events shape nations? So, how do those outside influences or really important events or things that happen shape the way that nations grow? You will be learning about Mexico, the United States, Canada, and either Brazil or the Dominican Republic, depending on what your teacher has chosen. As you learn about all these different countries, you will also have the opportunity to compare and contrast those countries. It's really fun. And last but not least, for Unit 4, you will be studying the Western Hemisphere today, and you will be asking the question, how does an interdependent region meet the challenges of modern living? So, how is our Western Hemisphere meeting the challenges of modern living, the way that we live right now? Learning about social studies in fifth grade is so much fun, and you learn so many new things that really make you passionate about history. I'm so excited for you to get started next year. So, because I'm so excited for you to get started, let me show you some things that you can do over the summer to prepare. First, let's start off with what you can read. I have two books here. Love this series. We have What Was the Ice Age and What Was the Age of Exploration. Now, these two specific books will connect directly with what you're learning in social studies this year. We do a whole Ice Age project and we learn about European exploration. These books are really fun and they make history exciting. I recommend these two specific books because, like I said, they will connect with what you're learning next year. But overall, this is a fantastic series and you should definitely look into it. Next, I have a United States Atlas. As you get older, it is so important that you start to familiarize yourself with the geography of our country, where certain states are, and what the geography is. So, this is a really great start for you. It's going to help you see where different things are in our country. And so that when we're talking about it in social studies, you'll be able to make lots of connections. Next is a book on westward expansion. This is a nonfiction book that teaches you about westward expansion, which is the time period in our country where large groups and numbers of people were moving west in our country. We were buying that land and we were taking over that land from other countries, and we were moving out there to settle it. So this will be a really interesting book so that you can learn more about westward expansion and the Oregon Trail. Next, I have the Kids Book of Canada. Like I said before, you're going to be learning all about the country Canada. Canada is such a beautiful country, and they have so many interesting landforms and interesting animals. So I highly recommend that you check out this book. Next, I have A Kid's Guide to Mexico, another beautiful country with so much culture. This book is going to give you a really great overview of their country and culture. Next, I have Coming to America, the story of immigration. Towards the end of fifth grade, you'll be learning more about immigration and how people came to our country. This is a really, really inspiring book. And you know what? We are right by the Statue of Liberty, so it's a really great connection to where we live. And last but not least, I have the Encyclopedia of the American Indian. This is such a great overview text to learn more about their beautiful and complex culture. You will be learning even more about Native Americans this year. I know you did a lot of work with it in fourth grade, but you will be learning more in fifth grade. So this will give you even more information to contribute during your social studies lessons. All right, now let's talk about what you can do. First and foremost, if you haven't already, or even if you have already, you need to visit the Museum of the American Indian. It is one of my favorite museums in New York City, and it has so many interesting and cool artifacts about Native Americans. So I highly recommend you check it out. And like I said, even if you've been there, there's so much to see that there's got to be things that you didn't get a chance to check out the first time. So definitely go back, see if your family members can take you. Next is to visit the Museum of Natural History, which is another top museum of mine. And I specifically recommend the Hall of Mexico and Central America and the Hall of the Eastern Woodlands Indians. These two halls are going to give you so much information that directly connects to the work you'll be doing in social studies in fifth grade next year. I even challenge you to take a couple pictures of the coolest artifacts you found so that you can show your teacher when you come to school next year. And last but not least, I always recommend to everyone that they write a letter to their local politician. You can do this to ask questions that you have about government or to ask for change. Maybe you see something in your neighborhood that you really think needs to be fixed. Maybe you have a broken street lamp. Go ahead and write a letter to your local politician and ask them to make this change. All right, last but not least, what can I explore? The first one is so much fun, and I've been playing it so much lately, but it is a game where you have to name all 50 states. And this is the website. Feel free to take a screenshot of this part. But here you have to name all 50 states and correctly identify them, and it keeps a score for you. And you can do it again and again, and you can watch your score get better and better. I think that this is such an important skill to have. We need to know where states are in our country. Besides, it's also really fun. So I definitely recommend you check that out. Next, I have a really, really interesting Kids Britannica page on the Columbian Exchange. This is such a fascinating topic, and we're going to dive into it in fifth grade, but I really recommend you get an overview over the summer and that you study it on this website. You'll learn so much that you didn't even realize, like how pizza would not be a thing if there wasn't the Columbian Exchange. So go ahead and read that so that you can figure that out. And last but not least, I have a National Geographic webpage all about Canada. Like I said, that's going to be one of the first countries that we dive into learning more about. So definitely check out National Geographic Kids. You can learn more about this really cool country. All right, fourth graders, how exciting that you will soon be in fifth grade and growing that social studies brain. I hope that you have a wonderful summer. Feel free to replay this video and take screenshots of anything I showed you along the way. Best of luck next year. Bye.